Hello, fourth grade. Today we're going to make a soccer game, and it's going to be a two-player soccer game where you could play against somebody else. So it's a lot of fun, and the first thing you got to do is you got to remember to log in. So this is my account for a test account, and you're going to put 21, your first name and your last name. So that's what you do first is you log in. That way you could save your work. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click on the garbage can here, and you're going to get rid of the character. And we're going to search for a goalie. Here's our goalie. Next thing we're going to search, right here, little cat and search, and we need a soccer ball. Soccer ball. Okay, so now you got a goalie and a soccer ball. And the next thing we got to do is we have to find a background that works for our soccer game. So we'll go to this one here, choose a backdrop I should say, search. And let's see if we have field here. Let's look for field. Let's maybe look soccer. Here we go, soccer. Okay, so put in soccer on the top and choose this one, please, okay? Because this one's not going to work for our game. We're going to use this first one, soccer. Okay, so now we got our soccer field. We have our goalie and we have our ball. Okay, so one person's going to control the goalie and go left and right. The other person's going to control the ball. So let's program the goalie first, okay? And actually, let's save this as soccer first before we forget. So we put soccer on the top. And now what you're going to do is you click on the goalie. So make sure you're on the goalie. And we're going to go events when clicked. So what do we want to happen when clicked? The goalie's a little too big. It's going to be too hard to get a goal here. The goalie's too big. So when clicked, let's do this. Let's set size to 50%. Set size to 50%. So now, when we click, our goalie's a little bit smaller. Okay, now it makes the game a little more interesting. Okay, so you could fool around with this number to how you want your game to play. And next thing we go to motion and set rotation style. Set rotation style left, right. This means we don't want the goalie flipping up and down. We want him just going left and right, and we want him to stay in the same spot. Now we got to think about where do we want the goalie to be? Do we want him to be here? Where do we want him to be, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to put go to. Where's go to? We're going to put go to. And we want the goalie to be at negative x 70, negative 70, and y negative 5. Okay? So you see when I move the goalie, you see he's in different spots here. It's x negative 149, y negative 59. If I put him here, it changes to x 161, y 10. So y is up and down, and x is left and right. So we want to put the goalie at negative 70, negative 5, which is going to be right around here. Okay, when you click the flag, you'll see. It puts him right over there, okay? So now we're going to put him here, and he's going to move back and forth. If you want to move him over a little bit, you can make this a 0. If it's up to you how you want to start it, we'll put him right in the center. We'll put him right in the center. Click the flag. So the left and right isn't as important, but really we want him in negative 5, so he's at the right spot there. Okay, so now we have that. When we click the flag, the goalie looks this size, and he's going to be only going left and right, and we're going to put him at this point. Now we're going to make a forever loop. So forever loop, and forever loop repeat. What do we want to happen? We want an if, then, and an if, then. Okay? So we're going to say forever, what do we want to happen? These are conditional if-thens, and we're going to do sensing. Now, this is where it gets fun. If, and we'll put our keys in here. Okay? So watch how I do it. I take my key, and I put it in here, and I take my key, and I put it in here. And we're going to pick the keys that want you. If you want to, you could use the arrows. You could use the up and down, left and right. I would actually use the right or the left. Or I would use D. I make this D, and I make this A. Okay, now watch this. Now I have if the D's pressed. What do I want to happen if the D's pressed? Well, if the D's pressed, what I want to do is I want him to point in direction. And I want him to go to the right. So make sure this arrow's to the right, and at 90 is how you go to the right. And I want him to move 3 steps. And you could change this if you want. You could make this, 5 steps, 10 steps. The more steps, the more moves he's going to do every time you click the D. Now, if D makes him go to the right, what I want to do when the A is pressed, I want him to go to the left. So I say point in direction, and then I take my arrow and I move it to the left, which is negative 90. So now when the A is pressed, he's going to point in this direction, and he's going to move 3 steps, okay? Now, if you get this message, what this means is download it, okay? Because this means that they're having a problem saving it, so you can download it later, and then you can still have your work. So if you get this message, what you do is you click download, and then later you do file, load from your computer, and you could reload your work. But I'm not going to worry about that for now. So I put this in here, and now we have a forever loop. So forever loop, every time the D is pressed, he's going to point in this direction and move 3 steps. Every time the A is clicked, he's going to point in this way to the left and move 3 steps. So let's take a look. Okay, let me see if I can get this out of the way. And try again, now it works. So I click the flag. Now I got my goalie here. Now watch this. I click the D, he goes to the right. I click the A, he goes to the left. You see now I got my goalie going here. Okay? And it's in a forever loop, so every time I click the D and the A, he's going to move. Okay? And notice he stays in that same, we don't want our goalie going up and down. We just want him staying in that same general sense. That's why we have set rotation left and right. Okay? So that's the goalie. Now we do the soccer ball. And the soccer ball is a lot of fun. Okay? So we have to put our goal in, we have to put our ball where we want him to start. And we also want to make it that when you click the mouse, you can move the soccer ball. And then we also want to make it that he gets a goal when it goes into the goal. So let's start a few things here. We're going to go to when clicked, and he's going to set size to, and we want to make that ball a little smaller. So you could try your own, what you like to, oh, I'm sorry about that. You could try your own. I'm going to try this to be 75. I want the ball to be a little smaller. And then we're going to do this. We want to go to, let's see. We want to go to, now here's where it gets a little tricky. We're going to make this negative 133. So that's going to put our ball on the Y negative 33. So that means Y is up and down. That means our ball is going to start maybe around, let's see where it is. Maybe like around here. Okay, that's negative 142. We're going to start right around here, negative 133. Okay, so right around there. And now here's how we got to change this. We don't want this to be a number. Okay, so please watch this. This gets a little tricky. We want this to be mouse X. Okay, so go to, and we got to go to sensing mouse X. Okay, so mouse X. So take out this number here and go to mouse X. Okay, so now we have our mouse ready to go, and we have to add something. We have to add a forever. Okay, control, we have to add forever. Okay, forever, go to mouse. Now when we click the flag, now notice when I move my mouse, the ball goes where the mouse goes. You see how that goes? So forever, you're telling the computer forever, stay on that Y negative 133. You see it stays on Y negative 133, but move your mouse, move the ball where the mouse goes. So now we got that. Now the next thing we have to do is we got to get the ball to move if you press the mouse down. So we're going to have if, and we go to sensing, if mouse down. What do you want to happen if the mouse goes down? Motion glide. And you're going to pick the number that you want. Now I'm going to say 0.5. That's a half a second. Okay, so some kids, they put 1 second, but don't put 5 seconds because then the ball goes in slow motion and the kids don't want to play that game. They want it to go quick. So make it 0.5, 0.25, or 1, but don't make it like 10 or 5 seconds because the kids will say, this game is too slow for me. Okay, so when you click the mouse down, the ball is going to glide. Where do you want the ball to glide to? Well, you want it to glide to 0, Y. 0, Y, that means it's going to go towards Y up here. Okay, that's going to be Y like 133 would be up here. Y 0 is like right over here. And then where do we want it to go, left or right? Here's how we're going to do. Now this part's a little tricky, but the kids will get it. So we're going to go to pick random, okay, because we want the ball to go to a random spot. And between negative 80 and 80. Okay, now why do we pick 80, negative 80 and 80? Because we want it between the goalposts. Okay, so negative 80 is over here and 80 is on this side. And then we take this and you move it right into that X. So this tells our computer when you click the mouse down, go towards this way. Make the ball go up. Make the ball go up to Y0. the ball is starting at -133. It goes to Y0, and then pick a random spot for it to go to. And how often do you want that to happen? You want that to happen every time the mouse is down, because now it's in a forever loop. So forever loop, move your mouse left and right. Move the ball, I should say, whenever the mouse is moved. And then when you click the mouse down, the ball's going to go in. So let's take a look. Now I click like this. The ball's, so you see the ball's moving now? It's moving into the goal. So now we sort of have a general sense of a game, and now we just got to add a little more features to make it fun. You put when clicked, and control, forever loop. Okay, now we got to get the goalie involved, because you don't want the ball just going in. It makes it too easy. You have to make that the goalie is stopping the ball. So watch this. Now we're going to say if, and then you go to sensing. Okay, now notice how I do this. I got forever loop, and then I put my conditional if then. What do you want to happen forever with the conditional? If touching goalie. What do you want to happen if it's touching the goalie? If touching goalie, they're going to glide. The ball's going to glide. Let's go to motion, and it's going to glide. Now you're going to glide. Okay, motion glide. Glide. And you're going to glide to, let's make this 0, -133. So what this means is that if it touches the goalie, you're going to put the ball back over here. You put the ball back over here and to -133. So it means if you touch the goalie, put it right back here. Okay, like that was the goalie blocked it. Now the ball's got to go back here. Now we have to make it if it's a goal. What are you going to happen if it's a goal? Well, you're going to say control if then. And then you put this right, don't put this at the bottom here, put it right underneath the other one, okay? If, and now if it's high, if the ball goes very high, if the goalie doesn't stop it, what are you going to do? So you're going to say if, and motion, and then you're going to say, you're going to have to use operations here. If, and it's going to say greater than, okay? So this is saying if the y is greater than what? If it's greater than -2, if it's greater than -2, this means if it goes past the goalie, what are you going to do? And you're going to put the y position there. So if the y position, okay, is greater than 2, what are you going to do? Okay, so this means if the ball, this is what we're saying so far. If the ball touches the goalie, put the ball back here. If the ball gets past the goalie, right? If the ball gets past the goalie, meaning it's greater than -2, I just want to show this part again because this could be a little tricky. So what I did for this one is I went to the green and I went to the greater than less than, and make sure you got this one, greater than -2, and then I went to the blue and I put the y position, okay? So if the y position is greater than 2, this means if the ball is higher than -2, what are you going to do? You're going to say cheer and say goal. So we're going to go to sound. I went to sound here and I went sounds, and then I'm going to add, and I put, let's put cheer in. Actually, goal cheer. Goal cheer. So now I got my code and I have start sound goal cheer. So if the ball goes higher than -2, you're going to start the sound goal cheer, and then you go to looks, and you could say goal and put it in here. Don't put it down here. You got to, but it's got to be if the ball is greater than 2, play the sound and say goal. Goal. Okay? So now we got our game, and let's play our game. So I got my 2 players here. I got the goalie that goes left and right with the A and D, and I got the ball that's controlled by the mouse. So let's take a look. Click the flag, and then I got my goalie going left and right, and then let's see like this. Okay, now I got a goal, and he could try to block it too. Okay, now you got your mouse going, and he could try to block it. So when you're done, you make sure you put soccer on the top. You click save now. If you're having any problems and your game can't save, you go file and then save to your computer, and you could download it. And then please take a picture of this. And if you need to zoom out, you click over here and you zoom out. And please take a picture of both sprites. Take a picture of the ball sprite so I could see it. Oh, let me stop this. Take a picture of the soccer ball so I could see it, and then take a picture of the goalie code that I could see it, and that way I could grade your game. And you could change these if you want. You could change the steps to make it more steps or less steps to change the game, and you could change the gliding time as well. So that's our 2-player soccer game.